what we're talking about tonight is all the drama that surrounded the Splatoon Direct. Is it going to be just glorified DLC, or is it going to be like a whole brand new game? And then the Direct actually happened, and everybody went nuts over this. Like, all the negative, positive in the middle. You know, it's just kind of weird. I mean, Drip, you and I are both people who didn't play either Splatoon game, so we have an interesting perspective on this. Give me some of your thoughts.
After watching the whole thing, initially I was like, okay, that's looks like a shooter game. I don't have a lot of experience with Splatoon 2, but I got the idea of what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought it was underwhelming at first. That was my initial thoughts. I mean, I don't know when you first saw it. Initial thoughts. Because mine might have changed.
So,
what do you...
My initial thoughts were very positive. Did I think that it was way different art style gameplay than the second game based off of my little knowledge? No. Do I think that it looks cool? Still, yes. And also, all the cool new things they've added, like you talked about a second ago, the new weapons, the fact that you can now climb up walls with paint is pretty cool.
So there's a lot of little cool stuff like that. That's fine. And I think that's all good stuff, especially for a sequel. It's a good game, clearly. Lots of people love it. I'm going to play the game. Like, I was already interested before this Direct. I was like, yeah, I'm going to play it. I didn't play the other ones, but I mean, I have to admit, I also wasn't that into shooters up until recently. And I'm still not that into them. I play one, which take it or leave it. But I mean, I just don't think the Direct was all that impressive, but it's hard for me to say because, again, you know, I don't have hours and hours and hours in the game. I want to ask you about this.
Sure.
Some people are on one side of this thing saying what? Like, oh, it's glorified DLC. Like, this is not enough for a new game. That's a valid point, honestly. That's a valid point. Not the mechanics. That is actually something that a new game would have, especially when it's a shooter. You got to think about who we're talking about. Nintendo. Okay? Yeah. And I want to give you an example, and I want your opinion on this. Let's say we got a new Mario Kart announced.
For sure.
Some of them have been the same. They all have different stuff. Like, we had Double Dash. That was completely different. There's always something different. You know what I mean? What if we got Mario Kart 9 and it was just upgrades like that? It was like, yeah, there's a bunch of old tracks. We've got a couple new, like half of them are new. A bunch of old stuff. Looks basically the same. What if that was Mario Kart 9? Oh, you can change their clothes. That is not what you expect from Nintendo. Saying that it's like DLC, I think it kind of, that's fair. When you think about who it's coming from. When you think about who the game is coming from, Nintendo, and we've seen what they do with sequels and with just game franchises in general. They change them all the time. They make it something new. They make it something different. Yeah. I understand it's a shooter. You can't really go too far away from what you're doing, but how would you feel if you got Mario Kart 9 and it had what Splatoon 3 has?
Answering honestly, kind of upset. I definitely understand what everyone's saying, and what my response to those people is: don't buy the game.
Oh God, yeah, shit. But still, maybe they want to buy the game. Maybe they want something more.
Then buy the game, because here's the thing: you're gonna buy, and if you buy, you're gonna have fun. Because you like the first two games, presumably.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
You're gonna have fun.
It's not much. It's only got more.
You're essentially paying $60 DLC for a brand new game. Does that sound familiar? That Nintendo's done, especially recently. Can we bring it back? Let's take the Wayback Machine back to 3D World, Mario, and 3D World, and Bowser's Fury. 3D World, literally the same game as the one that was Wii U. The Wii U game was, I think it's $20 on the Wii U eShop right now.
Yeah,
they charged you $60. On the Switch port with
it was faster. Mario, they
difference.
ran faster.
They ran a little faster. There was very minor game tweaks, very, 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 very minor, way more minor than the Splatoon one. Except one big glaring thing, they added Bowser's Fury on the end of that. Now, Bowser's Fury, about a 5-hour game. I gave you 2 games. One's 5 hours. One is the exact same as the other game that's on the other platform that they have. They were charging $20 for. So is Bowser's Fury worth $40 at 5-hour game? Absolutely not.
Yes, it is. It's so good.
Is Bowser's Fury
it's so
hella
good.
Fun? Yes.
Yeah.
Is Bowser's Fury worth $40?
Videos. I'm like, dude, that alone I would have paid $60 for.
Yeah, great. You and I would, but in reality. Like,
yeah,
is it worth it?
No.
Absolutely not. So like, this is nothing new from Nintendo. I'm really seeing the effects of the Switch's hardware, because I think that is kind of a direct correlation. They can't do a ton more with the game in terms of making it look different without better hardware.
Expect that. I don't even expect look.
Well, it sounds. I know you don't, but it sounds like a lot of people are complaining about that. It sounds like,
well, that's stupid. Like, what are you gonna do? It's an art style, and you've pretty much reached the limits. Like, what else do you want? What do you want from it? Like, that's how it's gonna look. It's not like we're doing super realistic graphics. It's cartoon paint people. I mean,
cartoon paint people. You're dead on.
What else do you want from it? That's not even where I'm concerned with. My example earlier, their next Mario Kart, or their next Zelda, or their next Mario. It's always innovation. There's always something different. I guess it's kind of like Smash now. Like, yeah, it's different, but it's not. You know what I mean?
I mean, Smash hasn't really been that different.
What do you want? It's a shooter. What else are you going to do?
The one argument I heard that I was like, oh, I wish I would have seen that too, is adding a Battle Royale mode.
Yeah, the only 4-on-4, that kind of sucks.
The other thing about it is they added a 2v4v2 mode in the Splatfest. I'm not too familiar with all that. And that would have been cool also to see all the time. That was a good point that I think Switch Force made, either that or Here Be Gabe, I'm not sure who. I feel like that should have been all the time in the game. And that combined with a Battle Royale, that first of all, the Battle Royale completely changes the game. That's a whole new game mode. That's worthy of the upgrade. In my personal opinion, if they added a Battle Royale, that's a new game. That's a whole new game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how they could do that with Splatoon, though. I mean, I get it. Like, you're so,
dude, I'm not a developer, and I'm not a great mind, but I'm telling you, they can
easily
come up with that.
But where there's a will, there's a way. But I mean,
for sure. Dude, it could have been paintball. They could have added paintball. Here's a free idea. For your paint game that doesn't have paintball, why don't you add paintball Battle Royale?
What about the thing they did add? Did you see the card game?
Yes, I think the card game's pretty sweet, honestly. And I say that because I've been getting into the retro stuff in Nintendo Switch Online, and I've been playing some of the Dr. Mario games. I think it's really fun. I used to hate Tetris, and now I'm like meh on Tetris. And Dr. Mario is basically Tetris, but like kind of different.
Yeah, it's
kind of different.
But
I'm having fun with that, and I'm like, I'm actually kind of cool with this idea. It's like I think RGT said it was a Tetris and a card game. And I think that's kind of an accurate description.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty neat. I will. Shoot, man. I'm actually really excited about that.
It's literally the same game, but instead of actually playing it, you're using cards to play it. I mean, it's the same game. I guess you're just playing it in a different way. But
I think it's kind of fun.
Go shoot stuff.
I think it's a welcomed addition, and I'm down for it.
I mean, I'm glad they didn't take anything out to add it in.
Correct. You can't be taking stuff out of games, Nintendo, even though you do that with Animal Crossing.
They added a ton of
add it back in.
They added a ton of cosmetic stuff, like a ton.
Yeah, a ton. I mean, I heard that. Again, I'm not too familiar with the game, but I heard that it's kind of like a style game as well, kind of like a cultural style game.
They added a ton of stuff. Something all the cosmetic stuff that you can earn, and you do it in game, so it promotes. It's playing the game, so like you got to spend money, but it affects the game. Like if you have a certain pair of shoes, you can run faster.
That's in-game currency though. And that's fair. Yeah. You play the game more, you get more advantages.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
totally
fine,
fair. I do think that isolates someone who doesn't play that much. Like I know for me,
exactly.
I'm not going to play that game a ton.
Yeah,
and that's going to kind
get my ass kicked.
Yeah, I don't love it. I see your point. I think it's fun to add it. I also feel like it might kind of deter people from playing it who don't play it as much. You actually I didn't really think about that till you said it, and now I'm thinking about it and actually not liking it too much now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It is what it is. I mean, obviously it's in there. It's not going anywhere. I'm just hopeful that it doesn't, like you said, like alienate the people who don't play every day